Hi guys, I wanted to take a few minutes today and talk to you guys about something that I get to repeat very often, and so I thought if I would just come on here and share this video real quick that I could just try to educate some people with one fell swoop. I want to talk to you guys today about early neutering and spay and the effects it causes, or I believe it causes, on dogs' muscle growth and specifically like hip dysplasia, just their muscle development in general. I noticed as I was preparing for this little talk that there are quite a few, if you just Google early neutering, hip dysplasia, you'll see quite a few studies now that have been put out that are in agreement with what I'm saying. But I want to preface this by saying I have a dog I have to keep my eye on. I am not a licensed veterinarian. I don't claim to be a licensed veterinarian. I don't hold any kind of medical degree, but I've been working with dogs for over 20 years, and I can tell you that I've seen a lot of this, and so this is why I preach this to all my clients. So very often people will come to me with these 4, 5-month-old, 6-month-old, most often labs, golden doodles, the bigger breeds, and they tell me that they've either already neutered them or they're going to neuter them soon. And I just want to make sure that I tell people, and what I always tell people is that I really feel like it's better to wait. Of all the dogs that I've seen that have had hip dysplasia, cruciate ligaments, all these various muscle, hip, elbow conditions, they've all been neutered at a young age or neutered. I mean, I don't actually know when everybody's neutered, but they're all young when they start developing these symptoms, and they've already been neutered. It's just very obvious that neutering them young affects their growth. I can look at a dog before I even look back and it's behind, it's a rear end, and I can tell you whether or not it's been neutered based on how it looks. They're taller, they're leaner, they're very feminine looking, because they don't really ever get to go through what we would call with humans puberty. They don't get to get their testosterone and develop their muscle, hike their leg, all of those things that are going, are a dog's equivalent to going through puberty. They don't ever get to reach those milestones, and therefore their bones just don't develop right. And so that in turn, I've felt like my opinion has always been that it causes some of these hip issues, because their bones just don't get developed like they're supposed to develop. And again, like I said, now I'm starting to hear, I know for so many years I was a lone voice in the wilderness, or I felt like I was a lone voice in the wilderness. There she is. Because so many vets are recommending that the dogs get neutered really young because of testicular cancer and so many other ovarian cancer and things. What are you doing? And so I always tell people, you need to do what your vet says, and I still say that. You really need to go with what your vet says. I am not a licensed veterinarian. And I don't hold any medical degrees, so you obviously need to do your research and talk to your own vet. But like I said, more and more people now are telling me that their vet has either told them to wait or told them that they can, that they see the good and bad in both. And so, again, I just urge people to do their research, to be educated on this matter. And if it was me, my dog, and if you were asking me what's a magical age, because people often do that, like what's a good age, I would tell you that once that dog is lifting its leg, which is indication of it's kind of went through puberty, lifting its leg pretty consistently, and you'll see it's got its muscle to him. It's muscle. Its shoulders and hips are really defined and muscular like a boy. That's usually a pretty good age, and that's usually about 18 months, honestly. I know there's advocates that's people who are against this who will say, well, you got to worry about the dog's breeding, you worry about aggression, and honestly, again, I've done this 20 years. Yes, you have to worry about breeding, and you're definitely gonna need to keep your dog. You're going to have to manage it, but that's true if your dog's neutered or not. You have to manage it. Your dog shouldn't be wandering the neighborhood with the ability to find females regardless whether it's neutered or not. So I don't feel like that's really it's kind of a moot point. And then as far as aggression, you don't really see aggression towards people if a dog's neutered or not. It's really, there's no in my opinion anyway, there's no difference. What you will see is 2 dogs that aren't neutered, 2 intact males is what they call them, will tend to fight. Just like having 2 roosters or two bucks with goats, or 2 stallions. I mean, it's just when you see two males that aren't neutered and they're older and if they went through puberty, then yes, you might have some issues with aggression. But honestly, there's so many neutered dogs these days that you don't see that, and that's why you don't see a lot of aggression with a neutered male and an intact male, because they're just not the same. And an intact male knows that. He sees them as a female. It's so funny how it works. But anyway, I think it's cool how it works. But anyway, but if you have two intact males, which aren't neutered, that's what they call them, intact, yes, you could very well have some aggression, worry about some fighting. So that's something to consider if you live in an area where you have lots of other males that aren't neutered. That's definitely going to have to weigh into your decision. But you know, if you do it at the right age, you hit that sweet spot where the dog's already got its muscle and it looks good and everything's developed properly. Oftentimes it doesn't get that aggressiveness in it, and you can get it before it happens. But honestly, I'd rather have to manage my dog and know that I have to watch it with other males that aren't neutered than have it develop some kind of hip or cruciate ligament or some kind of issue along those lines. This applies to big and little dogs, but mostly applies to bigger dogs, labs, goldens, anything, you know, really shepherds, anything over, you know, 50 pounds. You see more of it in that type of dog or size of dog. And it's really more for the males too. It seems like I see far less incidents of hip issues in females. You know, I can't tell with a female if they've been spayed or not, like I can tell with the male. So it really seems to affect that. Testosterone, I think, is really important for our boys. So again, I just thought if I shared it here in an email or here in a video, excuse me, I could say it once and hopefully people can see it. If you have any questions, feel free to text me, email me. You know how to reach me at Canine Camp Dog Training. I can link you, point you to articles. Again, all you have to do is just open up your Google browser and put in a search for early neutering and hip dysplasia, and you'll see it. So just wanted to share that piece of information for those of you who don't know. Hopefully it can help somebody and help your dog. All right, have a great day, guys.